welcome to my recital this evening. Thank you so much to everybody who is here, everybody who has been with me all day for the multiple events that Dr. Yankee has put together for this day. So I appreciate seeing you all here, and I'm very thrilled to finally give you the full experience of my recital program. So I heard that we may have run out of programs, so I would like to introduce my pianist, Dr. Kashiwagi, here on piano. My name is Dr. Kelly Misko, and Dr. Katie Yankee is the wonderful hostess who has had me out here and has been absolutely amazing all day. So thank you again to all of these folks, for my collaborator, and for everybody, all the students that have been participatory today, and anyone who has come to any event. I'd like to start off my recital by playing a transcription by a composer named Nadia Boulanger. I'm not sure that we have anything for horn quite written by her, but I always really liked her compositional voice, and I've always been intrigued by her as a teacher. She influenced many, many composers and was a teacher. And she's originally from France, born in 1914, and she was in composition for a bit and then moved over to teaching and education. Her sister, Lily, is also quite gifted. So this particular work is 3 pieces for cello that I have stolen. There are 3 movements. We're only going to play the first 2. The third movement includes double stops, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet on the horn. So we're just going to do the first 2. So please enjoy 3 pieces by Nadia Boulanger. All right, we are going to stay in the same country in France, and we're going to skip ahead a few years to 1941 to Eugene Botza, who wrote a work for horn called En Forêt. This is a pretty standard work for horn. It was originally written as a Paris Conservatory test piece, so as you'll hear in this piece, there are a lot of different types of extended technique. Like every type of technique that you can think of is on display in this piece. Botza, I always like to say he's kind of like cilantro. This piece, En Forêt, you either love it or you think it tastes like soap, and there's really no in between. I personally think that En Forêt is great. I love it, and I'm happy to be playing it for you today. Within this piece, he includes a couple of quotations, including the St. Hubert's Hunting Call. He also includes the Roman Festival Overture, Hinds of Rome, and an 11th century sequence hymn titled Victimae Pascali Laudes, which is an Easter sequence, and it talks about Christ's triumph over death. So you're going to hear everything from Respighi to Gregorian chant and everything in between. So please enjoy En Forêt. Okay, and for those who were here earlier today, I gave a presentation on film music, actually, and talked about something called topics, which are gestures that are embedded in our cultural understanding within music, and some topics include the hunt, which is 6/8 time and very da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It has a very lilting quality about it. You can imagine being on horseback. We also talked about amoroso, which is love. It's using a lot of non-harmonic tones, appoggiaturas, pianto type sine motives. And this next piece that I'm going to play will feature more of that amoroso type topic that film composers will embed into music written for film. So I would like to talk about Gina Gilly, who is the composer of the next work. She actually is a professor of horn at Pacific Lutheran University, and she was a student of Doug Hill. Her dissertation project was actually a work that she composed herself for soprano, horn, and piano, and it was a 20-minute work, and I think that and her encouragement from Doug Hill were what helped launch her into composition. We can thank her today for some really lovely works for horn, including a horn quartet, a really lovely sonata, and this piece that she wrote to honor the, at the time when she wrote it, it was in 2021, early 2021, and there were 500,000 lives that had been lost due to COVID-19. This is a cyclical piece, kind of like the last piece we just played. It's in a minor key, and you're going to hear very wide leaps in the horn and in the piano that signify mourning or sadness. For her, she says that this work it's to express difficult emotions, remembering loved ones, and working through trauma. So I would like to actually, part of my recital program decision making was that I stole works that my students were working on for their juries last year. So this one I would like to give a shout out to Laurie, who performed this last year. She's the one that brought this to my attention. And the last piece, En Forêt, my student Zach is working on that right now. So yes, I just like to steal their music. So please enjoy A Song for the Lost. such a wonderful pianist. She catches me when I mess up. Thank you. Beautiful piece. If you all haven't played this, you horn players and other instrumentalists as well, because this has been transcribed for a lot of different instruments, you need to play this piece. It is so beautiful. The next piece is a very, very different vibe from what you just heard. And this is written by Jeffrey Agrell, who actually was Dr. Yankee's teacher at one point at Iowa. He entitled this suite the Gallimaufry Suite. A gallimaufry, I had to look it up, it is a confused mixture or jumble of things. So he writes a lot in the jazz idiom, but dresses it up in common practice notation so we horn players can actually play it. And it has written out swing and everything, so we don't actually have to really translate that because we don't play in this style very often. So I think it's kind of a fun way to get your feet wet in the jazz idiom as a horn player without actually playing in a jazz band. So something very interesting, why did I pick this piece? Why is this on this program? First of all, I wanted a diversity of works to perform for you all. I think that it's always interesting going to a recital and hearing lots of different kinds of styles performed. So for me, this one is one of the more challenging ones because it's in the low register. And it's in the jazz idiom, again, not something I'm very much at home with. But I recently did a interview with Andrew Firova, and this it's for a podcast that he's starting up. Maybe all of the horns have heard of it. It's called Know Your Teacher. So it should be aired, I think, in the springtime. But he asked this interesting question: what are the 3 characteristics that define you as a teacher? And I was like, oh shoot, don't ask my students. I think originally he did ask the students in the first season, and then he realized like maybe it's a little nicer to just ask the professor. So I came up with 3 kind of different words to describe me. One would be scrupulous, but not in a negative way. I think for me, once I hear a student's potential, I run with it. I want to see what they can do. So they're here, I put the bar just there, and if they're being lazy or not being aware of something that I know they can do, I'll bring their attention to it. And I'm like, okay, you're doing fine, but this could be better. And so I like to go for excellence. So that's one thing. The other side of the coin is you can't just push students all the time without having empathy. I think of myself as an empathetic person and teacher. I'm also a mom, so it just comes kind of naturally. But I think it's really, really valuable, the role that we have, all of you who are going to be or are already in a position where you're giving private lessons. You may be the only adult mentor that young adults have with, as an adult, other than their own parents. So it's a really serious and powerful place to be in. So I really have a lot of respect for my students and show them empathy. The last piece of the puzzle, maybe it doesn't fit, I don't know. I'm fun. This is why I chose this piece. When I started teaching horn, like 15 years ago, I was just very strict, and I taught my students the way that my teachers at Juilliard taught me. So my standards were way up here. And it didn't work for beginning 5th graders, believe it or not. It just didn't work for them. So I lost a bunch of students at the beginning, and I was like, man, what am I doing wrong? I was trying to be like all of these other teachers that had really influenced me. And then I realized the problem is I wasn't being myself. And when I realized who I really am, I'm a lighthearted person. At the end of the day, I do like to have fun. I love board games, video games, escape rooms, you name it. I love to have fun. So, long story short, this piece shows that characteristic and that side of me. I like to have fun. So please have fun with me while I attempt to play low notes in the jazz idiom. Gallimaufry Suite, first movement only, which is the odd march. How did you like her percussion playing? She should get doubling pay for that. That piece, I had a student, my student Cece performed it a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and so that's how I became introduced to Jeff Agrell's music. And I have another student that just graduated, Jana, who played the Fat Billy Blues, which is by Richard Bissell. Similar style, way harder, way cooler piece, just not in my wheelhouse. So you're gonna have to listen to Dr. Yankee play that one next time. The next piece I'm going to play is by a composer that's also new to me, Wan Yun Liang. She's a Taiwanese composer, relatively new and young composer, and a living composer too, which we love that. She wrote several pieces. Primarily, she writes a lot for euphonium. So if there are any euphonium players out there, you probably have played something by her. But she has a few works for horn as well. She has a sonata, I believe a concerto, another piece called Flying Blossom in Spring, which my student Chun Hoi Yang is playing on her next recital. And this piece I'm going to play for you, which is the Romance. I dedicate this one to Chun Hoi, who is, as I said, my student. She's a DMA student. She will be graduating in May. And she introduced me to this piece. She said, she always tells me that she doesn't just pick pieces for a recital based on how cool the horn part is. She actually plays everything that she's working on horn on the piano as well. And she's like, this composer is great because the harmonies are so interesting. And so you don't want to look at it because there's a lot of accidentals, it's not pretty, but it sounds really interesting. It's in the romantic style, but Liang includes harmonies that you might not expect. She goes into directions that are really interesting and intriguing and really, really beautiful. As a romance, she says that, this is also in ternary form, ABA, and she says that this shows at the beginning the sweetness of love or the newness of falling in love for the first time. In the middle, it's a little bit faster and feels in one, and it's a springy waltz, and it's the idea of two lovers dancing together. And then the end, it brings back the music from the beginning, but it actually has this word in there that's depresso. I didn't even know that was like a musical term. So it emulates sad feelings after the loss of love. So it kind of goes through the whole gamut, I think, of what love can be. So anyway, please enjoy Romance. All right, and the final piece on my program is actually, in a way, it's not in the center, but it's sort of the centerpiece of my program. It is the piece that I selected first when I knew I was going to be doing this recital, and I was like, oh, I got a piece that I really want to perform. This is it. This piece, entitled Trail of Tears by Jeff Scott, is a wonderful piece for the horn literature. It was pretty recently commissioned, and it's open up to more people to perform now, which I'm thrilled about because it's a really beautiful piece. Jeff Scott was in the Amani Winds for about 20 years. He teaches at Oberlin, and he just won a Grammy for his Bach and Coltrane album, so he's doing great things on the compositional side. He wrote this piece as a dedication to his great-great-grandfather, who was of Cherokee descent. And I read about the Trail of Tears in school. I knew about it growing up in high school. I showed up this morning in Fayetteville, and y'all have a historic site, or several historic sites for the Trail of Tears right here in this town, which is outstanding, and I'm definitely going to check them out before I head back home to Kansas tomorrow. Really phenomenal. So I feel really excited that I get to share this little piece of history with you all in this historical place. What happened is when the 5 civilized tribes were forcibly removed from their location, they could either go to Oklahoma, the Trail of Tears, they could hide in the mountains of the Carolinas, or they could integrate amongst the African American slave and sharecropping population. So that's what that last one is what Jeff Scott's great-great-grandfather did. So I don't have any students that are performing this right now, so I think the bookends on my program, the Nadia Boulanger transcription and this piece, were just strictly for me, totally for me, music that I absolutely adored and wanted to play because I love it. I'm going to dedicate this one to my husband, who's of Cherokee descent as well, and I think that you all will enjoy this piece. It goes through several different characters, one of which that I really like is it incorporates something called a wolf call, as horn players do this a lot. It's a half-valving technique, and it evokes the sound of a crying wolf in the wilderness. So be on the lookout for that. It's always the same note or two that he does this on, and it's a concert B natural. So listen for that, and thank you all again for coming. You could be doing so many things tonight, but you are here, and I appreciate you all for being here. I appreciate our wonderful pianist and horn professor, Dr. Yankee. Thank you both to you for having me out again. I've really had a great time today, and it's been a blast. So y'all are doing great things at the University of Arkansas. So enjoy Trail of Tears. Thank you.